So, what's up, friends? Today we're gonna discuss Jupiter in the first house according to Vedic astrology, in general, according to Red Book, according to every single thing, and also in a logical way. And we will find the remedies. So, a lot of video what I have seen online, they don't have the remedies. Actually, we know like if Jupiter is present in the first house, it can do this thing, it can do that thing, it can be this one, it can be that one, but a lot of people they are missing on the remedies. So even the Vedic astrology they don't have the remedies. Most of the remedies are like worshipping prayers, or wearing gemstones. But there was a red book, and the red book is actually sort of you can say it's a new emerging branch of Vedic astrology, and that has changed the way we think, and that has changed the full concept of astrology. Like the basic concepts are same, but the way we predict the astrology, the way we can predict the things, it has changed a lot. And then what we can say like we have some remedies that can be performed if your Jupiter in the first house is not doing well. So let's start. So first of all, what is first house? Basically, when we see astrology, like we see everything in the whole universe. Basically, you can say, or everything is basically in round in shape and in circles. So we see ourselves stationary in astrology. We should see ourselves as a point, and all the planets are rotating around us. We assume basically in Vedic astrology, not in Western astrology or in any other concepts. So we feels like the Earth is stationary. We are at one point, and all the things they are revolving around us at different pace and different speed. So the whole circle of the space around us is 360-degree, and there are 12 houses in astrology. So every single house it tells about different things in astrology. So the first house is basically the foundation, and if you divide 360 by 12, it becomes 30-degree. So every house is of the same degrees. So the 0 degree start from where the eastern horizon is, where there is east, and it starts from the east and goes in circle, like the why the sun rises, that horizon, that spice. So no matter sun can be like suppose someone is born in the evening or someone is born in the afternoon, the sun can be not at that place. But we take in astrology, we take that place where the sun rises, the eastern horizon or eastern hemisphere or eastern point, as a 0 degree, and then from that onwards, whenever you were born, so whatever signs, whatever planets, whatever the stars they are present in that specifically degrees is your first house. So if you are born with Jupiter in the first house, so we will see next what it can do for you. Before that, let us touch a bit of what first house in Red Book. Red Book says the first house is very important. Exactly, it's same house, same degrees, but like in normal Vedic astrology, we say the first house, okay, it's self. It denotes yourself. It denotes your personality. The why it's base. It's the foundation. It's basically the how you emerge. It's your root. But Red Book says more than that. It says the first house is actually like throne. The head is in Vedic astrology. The head is considered, or it's checked from the first house. So the first house is in. Suppose if we see in a Vedic astrology in Kala Purusha Kundalini. So the head portion is the first house. So head basically guides the whole body. So the first house is also in Red Book is very important. It is called it's a throne. The first house is taken as the throne of the horoscope. So Red Book says whatever planet is sitting in the first house will affect you for the whole life. And there are other different concepts like if the seventh house is vacant or not. So like basically whatever planet is sitting in the first house, the effect of that planet is always with us, and that planet is the ruler because it's the king of the horoscope, because this is called the throne. The first house is very important, so it can there are so many things that I don't want to go into so much of deep in depth basically. So it says like if a planet is present in the first house, so planets do have their friends and enemies, so it will try to raise their friends, try to help the friends in the horoscope, and it will try to snap the enemies. So that is a different concept, but will be on the surface. We won't go so much of it in depth. So let's start. So it's basically the same. The first house is always same, whether it's Red Book or whether it's Vedic astrology. But in Red Book, it's much more important, as it can affect the condition of the other planets in the horoscope. So as discussed earlier, so what first house represent? It's quite easy what it can represent. In astrology, the first house is important, as we know it's very important. It's your ascendant, it's your lagna. So it's a throne in Red Book. It's basically your roots, your foundation, your personality, your traits, your temperament. It's basically you. It could be your weakness, your physical constitution. So a lot of things that can be seen from the first house. First house basically is you and yourself. That is your first house. Now, before we go further, we have to understand what astrology is, what first house is, what Jupiter is, and how it can affect. So we should know a planet before we can do any predictions on that planet. So Jupiter, as you know, is a very big planet in our solar system, and it's basically a gaseous planet if you study physics, and it has a strong gravitational attraction. And in astrology, Jupiter is called guru or a sage or saint, or it's called like a person, a planet who has a lot of wisdom, and it's planet for the luck too. So in Red Book astrology, Jupiter is as a guru, like your teacher, a priest, a sage, a saint. It's also Jupiter is also regarded as air, the air we breathe in and breathe out. It could be carbon dioxide, oxygen, whatever. Basically, we're speaking about air. So Jupiter is regarded as also linked to the life. It's also linked to the longevity. It's also linked to the progeny. It's also linked to the spiritualism, higher knowledge, wisdom, beliefs, miracles, luck, growth, dignity, respect, prosperity, as I told, kindness, loyalty, someone whom you regard as a father figure, a godfather who helps you, or a person who helps you in tough time, basically, a kind-hearted person, a grandfather, old people. It also represents optimism, thinking positive and doing positive for the human, for the mankind, a mentor, a teacher, a professor, a yogi. It could be anything. It has a lot of things, but basically what my things it could be. So Jupiter as wisdom, Saturn makes Jupiter makes law, Saturn govern them, or like it could be tribunal, gains, achievements, accomplishment, understanding. So it's also sort of a protector who try to protect other in a good way. Jupiter can be a healer. So Jupiter has a lot of properties, and these are some of the properties we can highlight, because as we are doing the house one, when Jupiter is present in first house or in ascendant or in lagna. So let's see what it can affect us and how it can affect us. So what can be the effects if you have Jupiter in your first house? So the first house is the foundation, it's the base, it's you. So whenever a planet is present, so of course whatever the properties of that planet, definitely it will be in you. So Jupiter is known for its knowledge and wisdom. So it can make you a learned person, an intelligent person. So Red Book says like the first thing first, if this person has not completed higher education or is not a learned person, then the Jupiter placed in the first house is not doing well. It could be a case like other people in the family, they might be not well educated. So for this to make sure like Jupiter is doing good for this person should complete higher studies, should go with a at least uh, like post graduation or graduation. And in this way, because Jupiter himself is knowledge, is education, is wisdom. So if the person itself, it's in the first house, if the person itself himself is not doing that thing, has a problem achieving those goals, so it means somehow the presence of the Jupiter is not benefic for that person. And to turn that presence of Jupiter into a positive atmosphere, this person should complete the studies, should go with at least higher studies or graduation. And the more he studies, the more intellectual he becomes, the more wise decisions he can take, the more best possibilities, outcomes of the Jupiter in his life will be there. So Jupiter will help him in a lot of things. So the second thing is Jupiter itself is a base of a religion, spiritualism. It's someone's beliefs. So when the Jupiter is present in the first house, definitely this person, if even if he or she is not religious, he will be definitely a spiritual person. He is someone who gives respect to other religion, feelings of other person, especially in way of religion. And this person should have some things in the mind. Okay, this is right, this is wrong. Whatever it could be because of religion, or it could be because of the understanding of the why the universe operates. So basically, this person, if Jupiter in the first house, this person should respect other religion and should obey his own religion or beliefs. If this person is not respecting other religions, like this person is saying, no, 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 it's nothing, it's just, it's making a fool or blah, 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 or he has some beliefs that goes against the religion or the natural laws of the universe, like birth, death, karmas. So it means somewhere the Jupiter present in the first house is not doing well, is not doing good. So definitely Jupiter is not in a good state over there. So to turn that Jupiter into good state, this person should change his mind, should respect other religion, should follow a religion, or should be a spiritual person, should respect other in their values and religious sentiments. So if he's doing this thing, then Jupiter will be beneficial for that person. Next, as you can see, like the Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system, not the sun, basically in term of planets, and it's basically in a gaseous planet. And other tendency of Jupiter is to inflate in everything, expansion. So if Jupiter is present in the first house, definitely it can affect you in different ways. So it can, first house is your whole body, but especially your face too. So you can have a bigger face or bigger forehead. Biggest forehead is also related to the Jupiter. You could have a plumpy face, or you could be obese, or you could be having a little bit of more weight, or could be tall, like in whatever way. So it can affect in different ways with different races of people, with different sect of people. So but basically you can see these things if Jupiter is present in the first house. So the next thing in Red Book, as I told you in the beginning, like Red Book has a table where the planets have their friends or they have their enemies. So in Red Book, Moon and the Ketu, the planet Ketu, no matter in Vedic astrology, Rahu, Ketu, they are considered as dragon's head and tail. But in Red Book, Ketu is considered as a planet who wanna achieve moksha, like a planet who wants, who is not much interested in materialism, who is basically who wanna follow the path of the spiritualism, who wanna attain the moksha. Moksha is when you unite with the Almighty, sort of thing. So Ketu doesn't represent someone's greed, but Rahu is opposite. Rahu represents someone's greed towards the materialistic things and other things. So Moon is the mind. Moon is mind. So if your mind is subtle, it's if your mind is in calm state, if your mind is good, if your moon is good, then you can have things whatever going around you, you can grab them quickly, you can memorize them, you can be attentive to what is happening around you, so you can pay more attention, so the wisdom comes automatically. So the other thing is Jupiter, if you see the exhalation sign for the Jupiter, it's a sign of the moon. So the thing is this, in Red Book it says the moon and the Ketus, they are friends for the Jupiter. So Jupiter is placed in the first house. If a person does some job or work related to these two planets, then it will be very beneficial for that person. And if a person do the job related to the enemy planets that are for the Jupiter. In this case, in Red Book, it's planet Venus and the Mercury. Both are enemy for Jupiter. So if a person is indulged in those activities or in those jobs, then it could be issues. There could be issues. So we can't predict everything from one presence of the one planet. You have to study the whole horoscope in detail. It's just we were discussing like if the effect of Jupiter in only in the first house. A lot of other things can change the predictions and other things. So next. So if the Jupiter is in the first house, the person may have a rounded or a plumpy face. That's somewhat I have seen. Such people they have broad or wider forehead, and they have a smiley face. Like looks like they have a charming face. Like that's always they look happy most of the time because Jupiter is spiritualism, religion, and it is not a planet that is attached to the materialistic things. So they can heal themselves very quickly. The next thing is Red Book also says that if such a person get married, yeah, that's the important thing. So it says if such a person get married before the 28th year of his age, then it can affect his father. Why it says it's we have to go too deep into the Red Book, but basically, so such a person should not get married before 28. So if this thing does happen, then it can affect the father. As Jupiter is optimism and positivity, so such a person has a smiling face that's already been discussed, has a glow on his face. He has a good understanding of the surrounding and can take wise decision. Definitely, Jupiter is wisdom, so these traits are present in the person if he or she has a Jupiter in the first house. Red Book also states that if such a person is having issue with the breathing, has asthma, has issue with the heart, eyesight, then it means that Jupiter is not in a good state in the horoscope, especially in the first house. So such person should take care of these things and try to like we can't avoid these things like asthma, eyesight, or heart, but like seek proper medication and try to get rid of those problems ASAP. So as you all know until now, like Jupiter is sort of wisdom and presence of Jupiter in the horoscope in the first house especially makes a person a quick learner. He can grab the things very quickly, he understands very quickly, and he can take wise decision. And sometimes this type of person does learn from the nature. Like what happened to Newton. He saw an apple falling and just found the term gravitation. So these people they love nature and they learn a lot of things from the nature. They're not materialistic, they're spiritual person. Such a person they have a feeling like nature is always with them because Jupiter represent luck too, and growth, prosperity, a lot of things. So these people are always positive minded people. They are optimistic and they think like okay luck is with them, and they always try to do good. They're kind generous people. And also what happens to them like they have a feeling to know the future, or they want to know their future, so they are keen about things that relates to Jupiter, astrology, and helping other, like I said, like spiritual people, healer, priest. So they feel happy when they do these things. So that's what Jupiter can affect someone when it's present in the first house. Now if the Jupiter is present in the first house, so if you go with the Vedic astrology or just in basic astrology, so Jupiter aspect the fifth house. The fifth house is basically romance, but also children too. It's your creativity. So children are what you're creating to the world and what you represent through them. So what happened when Jupiter is in the first house? So it definitely promises what it promises: good children. So your progeny, your offsprings, they have sort of Jupiter traits in them. So they are also well educated. They will be well educated, will be quick learner, and they will respect elders. Depends on different horoscope or basic. They might be good. You might have good children. That's what I can say here. And definitely, what happened when Jupiter is in the first house? What I have seen, it does promise his male child. So in most of the horoscope, if Jupiter is present in the first house and in a good state, it does bless someone with a male child. As you know, in astrology, your male child, like as I in medical astrology or in science, they say like the chromosome, that's the Y chromosome, is only present in male. So if someone is male, then only the Y chromosome of the father will be passed on to the male child. So basically, presence of Jupiter makes this happen, and such a person might have beautiful, talented, kind, generous, whatever Jupiter traits in there. So such person can have children. That's Jupiter blesses. And yeah, same thing. Or if they are not, this person try to put religious values in the children. Like he usually tells the children to be kind, be generous, behave good in society, do good for mankind. So be God fearing sort of thing. So blah blah blah. So automatically, if Jupiter is aspecting the fifth house, definitely it can happen. So as philosophy is also linked to Jupiter, so such people, they are very philosophical in their views towards the problems, and also they take problems in a different way. So they are very like people who can, usually they're very adaptable. In most of the cases, that's due to emotional, setbacks or something like that. So if they know, like, okay, I can't achieve this thing, that's it, full and final. I can't get this card, that's it, full and final. So they live happy in whatever they can have or whatever God promises them. So and in problems they have, they take wise decisions and they handle the problems very well. So this is what Jupiter can make you if you have Jupiter in the first house. Further, as Jupiter is also life, so such people, they wanna know the true meaning of life, and sometimes they go deep and then they turn to be a good priest, spiritual leader or spiritual person who guide other people to about the life, the karmas, the good and bad, blah blah blah, whatever. So basically, they are very nice people and they love to help other and the mankind. And some people, they can choose a path of, because their Jupiter is judgment too, because wisdom, then you can take good decisions. So they can go into as a counselor into a field that helps people. Could be judge sometimes if 10th house is strong and other things. So basically, they are very wise people. They are intelligent, they're quick learner, they have different approach to the towards the problem. So these things can happen. Now, like, the fame is actually also linked to Jupiter, because what happened when someone is famous, people treat him with respect, people talk about that person in a good way. So that's also somehow related to the Jupiter, but name and fame is also linked to the Ketu too. So what happened when Jupiter is present in the first house? It can make you a famous person. So Jupiter is a dynamic planet, so it has a lot of multiple, good things. It's cause of a multiplier. So such person, they might have, they might be doing a simple job, and in the evening they might have be running, social classes for anything, or they might be doing some, you know things that's helping the society. So in that way, they could have a name and fame, or they could be famous for their religious or spiritual teaching they are doing in their, not in actual work, but it could be their hobby sort of thing. So it can make you famous, and if you are a female and you have a Jupiter in your first house, then it can make your husband famous. Because in Red Book, it's it's a very unique concept. Females and males, they are taken in a different way with regards to many things, and especially the planet Jupiter. I like for in a male's horoscope, the spouse or his wife is from Venus. Like it's calculated, or it's taken from the position of the Venus. But in female, the Jupiter is actually the husband of a female. So that's why the Red Book says it can make your husband famous. Such person should keep his nose clean. The reason is nose is the place from where we inhale and exhale, and should check on these things. Like it should be dry, like no mucus sort of thing. So if there's mucus, then it means somewhat Jupiter is afflicted with Rahu. So if the person has a running nose most of the time or has a cold or cough, so it definitely it means like Jupiter is not in a good position over there. So because Jupiter is air, is life, is happiness, so somewhere something is wrong. Next it says a such person can wear gold because in astrology the metal for the a lot of it's a fashion from like ancient ages. So some people wear gold, silver, other things. So every metal is unique and they have different vibrations or different frequencies, different electrons protons. And gold is linked to Jupiter, so such person can wear gold, so that then Jupiter can be more beneficial to such person. That can be done. Lal Kitab also says such person should, like in Lal Kitab, basically, the main concept is if Jupiter is malefic in your planet, is having issues, is not in a good state, then the things of bad Jupiter will, the notifications will come through the Saturn. Saturn will notify like the Jupiter is not in a good state. Because Jupiter himself, no matter is in a very, very bad state, it never does anything bad to that person specifically. Because Jupiter is a very, very positive and good planet. But it can affect other planets and the outcomes of other things. So what happened when the Jupiter is in a bad state? So the the indications are from the things that's related to the Saturn, like machines might not be working properly, or you might be like having whatever you buy, especially the machines, the things related to the Saturn, whatever you buy or whatever. I suppose something is working in home and suddenly stops, or you have issues with the eyes, like you have irritation in the eyes, or suddenly you see like your eyes are red most of the time, or you have eye strain sort of thing. So it means like your Jupiter is not in a good state. So keep and check on those things too. The other thing it says, like the enemy planets for the Jupiter is Venus. So keep your character clean. If Jupiter in the first house, if such a person is licentious, is more towards sort of especially male is more towards the girls and other things, because this person mostly they are happy. So they are kind, they're generous. So usually the opposite sex they attract quickly, and they make a very good companion, and in balance they guide you spiritually and always think good about you. So but what happened, this thing, because Venus is actually enemy for the Jupiter. So what happened if this person doesn't maintains a good character, so it can affect, so this person can face defamation issues, allegations, as that's a negative thing for the Jupiter. So these things can be checked. So as I told you, Jupiter means many, or it's a multiplier. So if such a person has a Jupiter in the first house, so he's good in multiple things. He might have knowledge of multiple, streams, or he might have changed multiple subjects, or he is good in various things. So that can be done. Like some people, they change their course of study, or they change their subjects, or they're good in multiple subjects. So that can happen when Jupiter is in the first house. The other thing can happen, the Red Book says, it says like the seventh house is basically the if the first house is king, the planet is sort of a king in the first house. The seventh house act as a wazir, or a general, or a governor for that king. So king, if the king gives an order, it will be fulfilled from the planet sitting in the seventh house. So if the seventh house is empty, or there are some planets who are enemy to Jupiter, like who are not in having a good relationship with the Jupiter, So if they are placed in the seventh house, then this can affect the presence of the Jupiter in the first house, because king is trying to convey his message to the horoscope, like to the kundali, to the person, like the Jupiter is trying to send some good vibes to throughout the whole horoscope, but somehow the message is not sent. Another thing, if Jupiter is in the first house, so then it makes a person like a sort of person who believe in simple living and high thinking, as Jupiter is not inclined toward the materialistic thing of the world. So it's a spiritual planet. So such person believe in simple living and high thinking, wisdom, knowledge, helping other. So that can happen. Red Book also states and confirm that as Jupiter is life, as longevity, so such person, it has a long life, or it blesses the person's family, especially his kids and offsprings, to have a long life. And it says, and practically I have not seen much, but it does confirm, like if a Jupiter is in the first house, then in that family the people won't die early or in early age, so they will like at least live until their 30s or 40s, and then that can happen. So this is another thing that's discussed in Red Book or Lal Kitab. According to the Red Book, also it says that if person is having a Jupiter in the first house, must complete his higher study that already been discussed, and the reason why he or she should complete his graduation, post graduation, and even higher studies. It says success comes after marriage. Simple phenomena. So the seventh house belongs to your partnership, your married life, your marriage. So once when someone like perform that thing, then the seventh house is awakened, as it's a concept of Lal Kitab or Red Book. So once the seventh house is awakened, so there is someone who can fulfill whatever the orders the Jupiter placed from the first house. So that thing can happen. So the people can have good results of the Jupiter after the marriage. Now, as Jupiter is a giver, it's a planet who has a lot of it's a significant of wealth too. So it's a giver. Jupiter wanna help other, is wanna prosper, make other prosper. So such a person who has Jupiter in the first house is, if the Jupiter is in a good state, it does makes a person like independent. Such type of person is not dependent upon his father for like especially the things related to the normal life, like money and other things. So these persons, they try to tend to make them self dependent, and they start working at a very early age. So this is also a concept of the Red Book or Lal Kitab. No matter they start living independent or they are self dependent, this person should and must keep good relations with the father, the grandfather, and respect old people, elders. Then the Jupiter will be very beneficial to such person. Such people, they should avoid things related to that are more materialistic, or like going to clubs, licentious activities, more alcohol, more meat, like eating more sort of things that it could be drugs, it could be anything like that are not in any religion. Like I don't think so there's a religion that says you can consume drugs or too much of alcohol or something like that. So they should keep an eye on these things and keep their character clean. What happened, Jupiter is a spiritual planet, it's not materialistic. So if such a person, they change their path from the way of spiritualism, they go towards materialistic and in a worse way, then if they lose the path, they lose the blessing and the positive things what they're gonna get from the Jupiter. So they should maintain their path in the right way, do the right thing, do the good thing, because Jupiter, such people, if Jupiter is good, they find their inner peace, the inner harmony, the happiness in going to spiritual places, also nature, and also helping other, motivating other. So they should keep an eye on this thing, and they should avoid such thing that can affect them and affect the state of the Jupiter. In worst case scenario, like if such person, they change their path, they go towards the wrong things, drugs, other things, They might they will never get depression, but they could be say depends on depression is related to so many things, and your moon too. So if something happens, they come out of that thing very quickly because nature is always there to help them. Luck is always there to help these people because luck and nature is related towards to Jupiter too. So such people they come out of difficult situations very quickly, but they should avoid these things, like not going to the path that is not right. So in woman chart as it is represents, so it's their husband. So they after the marriage, so what can happen, like it can bring prosperity, as Jupiter is prosperity, growth, significant of wealth. So their husband, after marriage, it can be like the husband got promotion, or the husband is doing good, or if he's doing business then like flourish. So these things can happen, or the husband tends to be more spiritual after marriage. So these things can happen when you have Jupiter in a female chart in the first house. Another good thing is, if Jupiter is in your first house, such a person should keep exchanging their knowledge, like knowledge or wisdom or education. It should keep flowing, and natural, like sort of cycles, like nature cycle, like water cycle, air cycle, other things. So it should keep circulating. So such people should have a nature of this thing. They should make it a habit, like they should keep doing whatever they have, keep telling other and keep listening to other, and keep spreading good things into the universe. So in this way, the Jupiter will do good for them and will be very helpful. And if you don't want to be religious, then at least you should try to be a spiritual person, because at the end, if Jupiter is in the first house, the only way out of difficulty is through it. So it means you have to be a spiritual person, then and then only Jupiter will bless you with a lot of good things. And Jupiter doesn't like materialism, so try to avoid materialistic things. Simple living, high thinking, be generous, be kind to other, be helpful, always motivate people. So, and another thing is, if you're gaining unnecessary weight, then it means what happened when Jupiter is in bad state. The cycle of the Jupiter stops, and it's in your first house. That's when you use it sits like over there, does nothing. It's a heavy planet. It's a bulky planet. So what it makes you feel the same thing. So you get a lot of weight. You get suddenly you start gaining weight, and you start you start eating a lot of sort of packed food, not healthy food, and suddenly you start feeling depressed or lonely. You cut off everyone, so that indicates the bad states when if the Jupiter is in the first house. So avoid these things, try to communicate with everyone, share knowledge, try to spend time with nature, do some yoga exercises, and keep your weight under control. Also spend time with elder people, with your father, with forefathers, or like with grandfather basically, or someone whom you respect as whatever, as a father. It could be like your idol. It could be someone who has teach a lot of thing to you, good thing, positive things. So try to spend time with those people, and try to respect them. So Jupiter is blessing too, so this is very important thing at the end. So never curse anyone, never say bad things to anyone, no matter if they have given you whatever they have given you pain. At the end, it's so you have different paths. You belong to a spiritual person. So if you curse someone, or if you say bad about someone, what's gonna happen? It will affect you. Nothing gonna happen to that person, but what's gonna happen? The negativity will be coming back to you, because Jupiter is a positive planet. It's a blessing. So if it is in the first house, so you should avoid, never curse anyone, always say okay, good luck to you. So if you do this thing, you will be successful. Like always say all the best, good luck to you. Never take it too hard, and never be jealous of anyone. So these things can happen. So the other thing, you can use items of Jupiter in your daily life, like gold, yellow color, yellow clothes, saffron, be kind. teaching spirituality, philosophy, believe in simple living, high thinking. So this is what I can, most of the things what I can discuss with you if you have Jupiter in the first house. So this is very very important part of this video. I've seen a lot of videos online and I have approached a lot of astrologers in Australia and overseas. But they fail somewhere. Like they will tell you, okay, if some planet is there, this gonna happen, this gonna happen, this gonna happen, that gonna happen. Sometimes it's logical, sometimes it doesn't make any sense. But whenever I try to it's hard to explain everything logically because this is astrology, but basic fundamental things and you can grab the things like why it is happening and what is the reason behind that thing. So I try to discuss. And the main important thing that no one tells you, we're going to discuss in this video, and that is remedies. So what are the remedies? Suppose you have a Jupiter in the first house and you're not experiencing those things like those positive things. Rather you're experiencing the negative thing of that part. So never gonna happen like you have a Jupiter and it's always positive. So there could be something like it's not in the right state. Like it's never gonna happen like we are always healthy and we never go have to go to doctors. So remedies are an important part of this topic. And what remedies Red Book suggests? A lot of list of remedies. It's general remedies, but make sure to consult some astrologer, before performing them. They don't have any negative effects, but it's just because sometimes little knowledge could be a dangerous thing. So this is general remedies anyone can perform. Anyone means if you have Jupiter in the first house and it's not doing good for you, what you can do then? What remedies you can do? If you are undergraduate, must complete your graduation. Like as I said, Jupiter itself is education, is wisdom, is knowledge, is intellect. So if you are unable to accomplish those things in your life, so means Jupiter is not in a good state. So try to complete. It's you. No one gonna help you. You are the one who gonna help yourself. So try to complete your graduation or even higher studies. That will definitely affect the Jupiter and you in a positive way. If you want money, if you want good respect, if you want name and fame in the society, must complete your education. The second thing is avoid smoking. Earlier we talked about drugs, but the main thing here is smoking. Because Rahu, if Jupiter is air, Rahu can pollute the air. It can make that air toxic. And smoking is what? It's inhaling. Like Jupiter is life, it's the air that goes in and we breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Oxygen. And what happened if you're smoking? So it means you're actually making that air because Jupiter is air, is life. So you're polluting yourself. So you should avoid. If you have a habit of smoking, then definitely your Jupiter is not doing good for you, and you can have issues regarding asthma, regarding other things, or you can have like Jupiter will not bless any good thing on it, won't shower any good thing on you. So you should do this thing too. The next is, as I said, Venus. Don't indulge in activities like earlier discussed, going to clubs, nightlife. Uh, don't be, more towards sexism. So materialistic things. It could be love of person or whatever possession. Don't be more possessive towards materialistic things. Be spiritual. Have less attachment with these things, materialistic things, and that will help you to come out of the troubles if you have because of Jupiter in the first house. Because you are the one who has caused troubles to Jupiter, and you're getting whatever you have done with your karmas, so it's coming back to you. So you are the one who can rectify those problems. Not other people can rectify. The other thing is keep your practice clean. So that's the same thing. Wear gold if you can, as I also mentioned in previous chapters. So if you can't wear gold, if you cannot wear gold because of any, what you can do, you can have a yellow thread that will cost you nothing. Just wear around your neck. That should be, or yellow clothes that can be helpful. The other thing, a lot of people does consume turmeric on regular basis, so it will strengthen the Jupiter. So these is easily available even in capsules too, so you can do this one and you can see very good effects. Respect elders, teachers, preacher, priest, old age, your grandfather, father, whatever. Respect them, just listen to them, speak to them, so that can help the Jupiter. Never indulge in unnecessary debates, because Mercury is also enemy of Jupiter. So speak good, whatever word you utter wisely. Never harm anyone with your words. So never indulge in unnecessary debates. And also, like I said earlier, just good luck to you, all the best. So try to be like that. And wear yellow colored clothes, visit to religious places. If you can't visit to religious places, you're not a religious person, be spiritual, spend time in your meditate in yourself, go to nature, speak to highly educated people. So these things can happen, and these are the general remedies you can perform, not a big issue. And if you're really in a lot of trouble, then you can contact some astrologer and they will see your horoscope properly and see what is the problem and can guide you. So, friends, so this was all about the Jupiter in the first house. Hope you have you have gone through all of this, and hope you will like that one. And thank you so much. If you like the video, just like and share, comment if you can. Thank you so much. All the best. Good luck to you. And that's for you guys who has Jupiter in the first house. And that's basically for everyone, no matter you have Jupiter in the first house or not. Do what is right, not what is easy, not what is popular. So that's for you guys, Jupiter in the first house. Do what is right. And thank you so much for watching the video. Stay tuned.